episode, I'm going to be teaching you the asset that you need to truly protect at all costs if you want to grow your business to the big, audacious goals that you have. Really, this is going to be a topic that you may have heard me talk about before, but it's so important. We're going to be talking about it from a different lens. And today we're talking about truly your time and how to protect your time, and 3 different ways that you really can protect your time and change the overall objectives that you're doing in your business in order to actually get more time to work on your business. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Growth Podcast. Here we like to teach you how to stand out and sell out by building a ride or die community around your brand. But we teach in a fun, conversational type of way, kind of like sipping coffee with a biz bestie, where we have actual conversations. If you're new here, I'm your host, Madison Page, and I am so happy that you are here. If you are not new here, welcome back, girlfriend. Happy to have you. It has been brought to my attention that 75% of you are not subscribed to the podcast that are actively listening. And that's crazy because that means you're wasting time. And again, we're talking about time today. You're wasting time searching me up twice a week, and where you could just be getting notified every time that I post. I put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Make sure that you are subscribed so you can get notified and you can maximize your time and simplify that structure. And you won't miss a juicy topic that you wanted to make sure that you listened to. I'm so excited to dive into this because time management is something that you really need to focus on. We're going to dive deeper than just time management. When I talk about time management, a lot of times I'm talking about your habits and your schedule and your day-to-day routine and how you actually, when you are working, how you manage your time. Today, we're going to talk about how to simplify and actually, if you're watching on YouTube, I am in the middle of making sourdough, as if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen, and I just found a big old piece of dough on my hand. Oopsies! Literally in between episodes, I'm kneading the dough. I've been obsessed with sourdough lately. But you get to a point in your business where you need to be able to spend your time on the things that actually matter to grow your business. A lot of times when we start our business, we want to do it all, myself included. I have been a solopreneur for the majority of my business. It has been just me. I've had some people to give me some support, but never a long-term building out my team. However, I have built other businesses with teams in the past, and I've done a lot of outsourcing as well. As in the last 3 months or so, I have really been focusing on doing this, on hiring people and getting to a point where I could offload some things. So today we're going to talk about hiring. We're talking about 2 other ways that you can really manage your time, because at a certain point, when you are scaling your business, the more time you can spend on money-making, generating activities, the quicker you will grow. The less time you can focus on editing and taking videos, shipping items, packaging items, assembling the items that you have, responding to the emails, things that don't require you, your brain, your face, your craft. The more time you spend on those things is time that you are spending away from actually growing the business. You've heard me talk about this before, focusing on working on versus working in your business. When you're working on your business, you're actually working on growing the overall business. As the business owner, at a certain point, your major focus has to be on the items that are actually going to bring in more sales, that are actually going to work on the business. Unless you're going to hire out a strategic, CMO or something like that, COO, that is going to really focus on the functions. If you just want to be the artist, you need something to work on your business consistently over and over again. If you are assembling items and shipping items and packaging items, you are working in your business. When you get to the point of consistent sales, that you feel like your time is kind of capped doing all of these things, your time becomes money at that point. Why? Because you have proven your marketing, you have proven your product, and now at this point, you just need to get in front of more people and fill the major gaps that you have, as well as other things, in order to keep on scaling and keep on increasing your sales from there. The more time you spend working on your business, the quicker your business will grow. And this is where your time sometimes does become money, especially at the precipice, which is a big word, from consistent sales to scaling. Of course, we want to sustainably scale. We don't want to have to be working all day, every day. We want things to be working for us in the background. However, at a certain point, I'm at this point, I have this in my business too. I know that the more time I work on my business, the quicker I'll grow, because I know the more people that find me, my marketing is proven and people will consistently kind of convert. So you have to identify the things that don't make sense for you to be doing anymore, because time is your biggest asset. It's the only asset that is finite, and the only way to create more time is to figure out how to offload things from your plate to get better at the things that you are doing, optimize your time a little bit better. But you really have to focus on 3 major things, really 4. 1, what can I optimize that I'm doing right now that just like isn't overly great? When you're optimizing, you a lot of times have to learn a strategy. You have to learn something new in order to make your process a little bit easier. What are you doing that's a little clunky that we need to figure out how we can cut back the time that it takes? How can we optimize your creation process? How can we optimize your product suite? How can we optimize certain things that you are doing on your day-to-day that might be like, oh my gosh, this is taking way too much time. The next is, how can you simplify? Is this necessary? Can I limit what I'm doing? Is this actually working? And if something's not working, let's cut it out, and we have to adjust it and go back to optimize. So you have to optimize, you have to simplify and figure out, are these things necessary? Is this something that I need to be doing? The next is automate. So if we can't optimize it and we can't simplify it, let's look to automate it. Is there something on the internet that they can do it for us? Is there an AI that can help us through this process? Can I use the internet? Can I use AI? Can I use Zapier to connect these things? You shouldn't be sending emails manually. You shouldn't be doing certain things, because you can automate those processes as well as delegate. If you can't optimize, you can't simplify, you can't automate, you then have to delegate. And delegate means to offload things from your plate to somebody else. Who can I hire to fill these gaps? These are the top 4 ways to scale your business and to master your own time. You have to figure out how to optimize what you're doing, looking at your numbers, analyze what you're doing, simplify those things. How can we look at what you're doing and offload things from your plate? Automate what you're doing and adding different strategies in order to, like, behind the scenes, utilizing the tech properly, and delegate. Who can I hire to fill these gaps? Hiring a lot of times is a big hump to get over, where a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like I have to onboard them and that's going to take so long. But that really does make a major difference, because then things are happening without you having to be working. Same thing with automating. Same thing with when you're optimizing your strategy. Optimizing is one of the most powerful things you can do, because we all have these little gaps. We have to optimize those little gaps in order to make them work better for us. Because if you optimize your website slightly, or you optimize your email sequences, or you're optimizing your content, which is improving those things slightly, you are already doing those efforts, but they will just work for you better. That is the first step in order to really scaling and to taking back that time. We are so often worried that we are the only ones that can solve problems in our business, that we have to be doing it the way that we've been doing it is the best way to do it. But take this as your sign that if you're looking to scale your sales, your time is in the utmost of importance. Why? Because it allows you to actually work on your business. You can offload some of those tasks in order for you to actually work on your business. And working on your business, again, goes back to optimizing. It goes back to adding different streams of revenue. It goes back to actually expanding the overall business. Some of my clients are moms. They have 9-to-5s and they're business owners, which, first things first, if that is you, you're a superhuman. If you are a business owner and a student and you're working, you're a superhuman. Those are so many things on your plate. You truly are, it's like, you have so many things on your plate that you are balancing. You should pat yourself on the back. However, additionally, these people that talk to me that have so much on their plate are always like, Maddie, when should I quit? And when should I go full time? And this is always a hard question for me, because I know your business is already functioning. It's working in the background. And if you could put 10 more hours into that business a week, how much more could your business grow that would then supplement your 9-to-5 income? So it all depends on your major goals. It all depends on what your overall goals are. Is this business just supplemental income where you don't really want to expand it? Or are you trying to really blow this business up and really be able for it to well exceed your 9-to-5 income? At that point, then your time is money at the point that you are scaling. The more time you can spend on the important stuff of actually working on your business, the quicker you'll grow, as long as the strategy is there, as long as you know that you are strategically taking action. And at that point, the more time you can put into things. And so if you are still at your 9-to-5, you have to look as if it makes sense for you to quit your 9-to-5 or take fewer hours so you can actually spend that time on your business. But you have to be able to look at your business objectively, look at the time that you're spending, look at the actions that you're taking, and learn how to optimize, simplify, automate, or delegate in order for you to actually optimize the time that you're spending on it. Because the more time you are spending creating content, creating your products, shipping your products out, is minutes and hours that you are not able to actually be focusing on growing your audience and making more sales. You need to be focusing on the money generating activities that you can be doing. And so if we can't optimize it, if we can't simplify it, if we can't automate it, or we have to delegate it out to other people. The scaling stage takes making simple changes, but can often be met with bigger risks. Scaling your business, you already have the big overarching strategies. You know your marketing works. You know that you are just that you are bringing in consistent customers. You know that you'll make X amount of dollars a month if you keep doing what you're doing. But so now it's just making small tweaks in order to make a big change, but that can often be met with bigger risk. That can be met with needing to hire somebody in order for you to actually work on your business more, because you don't want to have to do some of those things behind the scenes. That can mean that you need to quit your job or take fewer hours in your job. And of course, that is a very personal decision. And I'm never going to be somebody that pushes you one way or the other, because I don't know your own personal decision, especially in the podcast format. If you reach out to me and you say, Maddie, this is what's going on, I'd be happy to give my opinion. However, it's not something that I can just push you into quitting your 9-to-5 without knowing your full situation. However, I know that if you had 40 extra hours, if I were to tell you right now, what would the value of 40 extra hours in your week for you to focus on your business, what would the value of that be? If you're like, Maddie, I can't even imagine how fast my business can grow, that's a very good sign that would be a good decision for you to be thinking about. And maybe you're trying something new in your business. Maybe you are transitioning into a new platform and you're spending more time in a different platform. Or maybe this means that you're going all in over here, or that you're hiring somebody here. It often takes bigger risks. Why? Because A, you have some capital that you can take risks. B, you've already proven your marketing. When it comes to actually getting to consistent sales, it's a little bit more of a checklist. You need these things. And once you prove your messaging and you prove your product market fit and you prove your audience is there, it's kind of, okay, let's get the sales flowing. You got the sales flowing. Now it's time to scale, and it's time to look at what you have to do and optimize it by trying new things. It's a little bit more testing. It's a little bit more analyzing the numbers and looking at it from there. If you can have more time to actually work on the business, filling the gaps of what you didn't notice were there, analyzing the numbers, it's worth it. And how you really overall do this is when we look at those 4 major pillars. Optimizing, you need a better strategy on those things. You need to be able to look at your numbers and see, okay, where can we optimize here of what we're currently doing? When you're simplifying, you need to be able to objectively look at your business and see what is necessary for me to be doing. Automating. Sometimes there is so much automation out there that you probably don't even know. I see something all the time on TikTok or Instagram of automation that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Especially with the rise of AI, there are so many things on the internet that we can automate. We can have the system work for us. You can have your emails working. You can automate some of your DMs. You can automate so much of that tedious work that you're already doing that the internet can just take care of for you. Technology, let the technology work for you. And last but not least is delegation. And when it comes time to really hiring somebody, this is something that we are working on inside of my scaling program. When we scale your sales is delegating the proper things. It's okay to delegate the things that are outside of your major zone of genius because you can't be good at everything. If you're creative and you're crafty, maybe you have to delegate some of the strategy, or you have to learn that, or that's a totally new area of your brain, or maybe you aren't good at product photography. You've just never loved photography, so you have to delegate that product photography. You have to outsource things like that don't make sense for you. And so when we're looking at this major asset that you need to protect at all costs, it is your time. Because as the business owner, it is your responsibility to grow the business. It is your responsibility to work on expanding your sales, and the only thing that you can't add more of is time. So we have to figure out how to absolutely protect our time at all costs. And if you are sitting around and not delegating because you're worried about X, Y, and Z, or you're not automating because it's too much time to set up, or you're not optimizing what you're doing because what you're doing is working to the extent that it is, you are pushing away sales and you are pushing away growth. When it comes time for you to scale your business, and really build those sales, we have to look at these small tweaks, and you have to be willing to take some risk, look at some other people for support, because you've gotten to where you are, which is incredible. But now when we are scaling from here, we have to look a little bit deeper as to what can you actually adjust. Some of the major things is looking at your website, looking at your buying process, looking at what can we offload to other people? What are some of those major actual scaling metrics? How can we get your business in front of new people? Those are the things that you need to be working on, and that we love to teach inside of our scaling program, so you can choose to really work on the business and not just in the business. It is now time, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, yep, I know I have those sales flowing in, but I just want to do everything and it's hard for me to scale. It is now time for you to figure out how we can optimize, how we can expand your business so we can expand your product sales. That is what it is all about. If you're interested in scaling and you want some support through this process, feel free to come and DM me over on Instagram and say scale. I would love to help you with that process. And we have a new program coming in February as a little teaser that's going to be all mapped out around creating these small strategies that make a big difference in your brand, and in your overall bottom line of how many sales that you can actually make. We will implement strategies that improve your website, they improve your email marketing, they improve every piece of your customer journey in order to get people to buy more and new people to buy quicker as well. If that's something that you're interested in, come on over to my Instagram, DM me scale. This program will be limited in spots, and because it is very intimate, I'm working very closely with you. We do a lot of workshops of you and I analyzing your numbers, analyzing what's going on in the behind the scenes to really expand and to get you to reach those new heights. Come on and hang out with me on Instagram at This Is Madison Paige. DM me scale for more information on this topic. I hope that you can really see how, when you are looking at being a business owner, I hear it all the time where people are like, I don't have time for that, or I can't really do that because I don't have time. And what I'm saying to them is, do this one thing to help you grow your business. And they say, sorry, I don't have the time for it. Instead of trying to make the time, optimizing, simplifying, automating, or delegating in order to make the time for that to happen, they're saying, nope, I don't want to grow my business in that capacity. I am literally saying, here is the key to growth. And a lot of people say, sorry, I don't have the time for it. Here is the key to the goals that you're trying to make. Sorry, I don't have the time for it, as opposed to let me make the time for it because I know working on my business is so important. If this is something that you know that you need to do as well, then I highly recommend you try to protect your time at all costs. Optimize, simplify, delegate, and automate and then delegate, and looking at it from there. That's first step, so you can create more time, and then we can build more strategy on top of all of those things. And if you're like, Maddie, I'm so buried in my business, I can't even think about doing those things, that is an even more of a case why you need to do it. If you're buried, you need to look at how, because your business will not grow with you being buried to the point that you are. We need to look at how we can grow and scale from where you're at. You need a sustainable scaling structure. If you have any questions, come hang out with me on Instagram. If you're part of the 75% of you who are active listeners on my podcast that do not subscribe, make sure that you are subscribing. We put out new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. You will be notified. It'll save you some time, and it'll push this podcast out to more people that need to hear it. So if you value this podcast, that is a way that you can give back and make sure that it gets out to more people as well. I hope that you take back your time this year. If you do one thing for your business when you're trying to grow, is really understanding that your time is money at the point of you trying to scale, of you trying to really get into your business. If I'm giving you something saying this is going to help you grow your business and you say, I don't have time for that, we have to find a way for you to input that into your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I'm in your corner always.